I'm just gonna go ahead and record. Good evening. It's Jeneen with Jeneen Cares, where we're caring, achieving, restoring, empowering, and supporting our youth for the future. I'm excited to be here today with one of the members of Team Testimony, and we are going to go live on Facebook to stream this episode. And so I appreciate everyone who has already subscribed to Jeneen Cares. I have about 44 subscribers, and I'm looking to acquire some more. I am a connector. I had a friend tell me once recently that, people can communicate, but Jeneen, you are a connector. And so as I was on vacation in Orlando, most of you know that I'm going through some transitions in life. And as I'm going through this transition, there was a need for separation. And so I stayed in Orlando. And so Orlando is a beautiful place. And I have found some places that I feel like are at home to me. So I'm kind of like right now in my third home. I come here all the time for lunch and dinner. The food is absolutely amazing. So I am live recording from Shauna's. One of my favorite meals here is the honey shrimp. It's like a crusted shrimp, but some honey drizzle sauce on it. So it's absolutely amazing. Tonight I had the curry chicken, another 5-star meal. So if you're looking for a place and you're in the Orlando area, I would suggest coming to Shauna's. The owner is amazing as well. He's a young brother, but he's got a lot of wit and common sense to be owning a business. So supporting Black-owned businesses, it's an amazing thing. And so I'm here tonight with a friend of mine, Q from Team Testimony. This brother, 26 years old, but doing the thing. Like, you know how you meet those people who are like young in age, but old in spirit? Kind of like my 6-year-old son. If you know my son, yeah, he will value you with the wits, even at the age of 6, but he's also got a real kind and generous soul. And so I am excited to be here with Q, also known as Marquise. Marquise so far has been an amazing friend. He has designed the graphic for Jeneen Cares. If you've seen the graphic that has the hands, he was the one who designed that. If you saw the Team Testimony logo, he designed that. And I have him working with a lot of people right now to design, you're so silly, to design a lot of things. And so I'm excited to be interviewing him because he's not like the typical.
Finally.
What?
Finally interviewing me. Like, gosh, it took you so long.
I know, I've been going through some stuff and I'm kind of busy. I do work full time and I'm a mom of 2 beautiful children. And so, yeah, I'm a little busy. You're not the first person that I had to cancel it. And it took me like 3 times to interview the owner of this place too, because I messed up one time and I was running late and I was double booked. So forgive me, fellas, because I'm a little busy and I'm going through some stuff too. So the combination, y'all know my heart really. So I'm trying to put a title on this live video, Q, and I would really appreciate like you really doing this part for me. But I'm gonna go ahead and put Jeneen Cares at Shauna's, SEANAS, and then I'm going to start this interview. But while I'm doing that, Q, go ahead and tell everyone kind of, where you're from, where you lived, and, give me some background. This audience, Jeneen Cares, is about supporting our youth, and we really are looking at, how we can build legacy leaders using other legacy leaders. I generally have a mentoring program when I serve as a school-based administrator. Currently, I'm not school-based and I'm in the central office. And so it's difficult for me to access students. Not as easy because I'm not school-based. And so I started Jeneen Cares so that I can still be connected with our youth. So Jeneen Cares is caring, achieving, restoring, empowering, and supporting our youth for the future. And before we end tonight, I will share some upcoming events, but right now, Q is about you. So take it away. Tell me some background and experiences that shaped who you are as a man today. And I think you're a good brother. Like I'm on the phone with you sometimes, just like hearing your things. And I think that you're a solid, decent brother. So I was excited to have you on Jeneen Cares to kind of share some like street wisdom and some professional wisdom, because you walk both sides, you know? So go ahead. You remind me of my brother. Shout out to my brother, Wesley in Philly. Love you, man.
Background. I'm from DC, man.
Go.
Yeah. So I was born in DC, mostly raised in Maryland, to be honest. I mean, between Southeast DC and Maryland, PG County, Maryland, is really where I got my molding from. My grandmama, man, my grandmama played a big part of my molding.
Shout out to grandmothers. Everybody remembers their grandmother. You're blessed if you had at least 2 or 3 members of your grandma, right?
Man, my grandmama, I'm telling you, like, as far as blessings go, I wouldn't know about God if it wasn't for my grandmama, and that's the most important thing ever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to pray. I wouldn't know what it means to be loved unconditionally if it wasn't for my grandma.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, my grandmama played a big part of my molding and who I am today, and knowing my worth and my value and stuff like that. So, you know, when people ask me, how I am the way that I am today, a big portion of it has to do with my grandma and how much of a blessed woman she was and how much blessings she put on me. And yeah, so that's that. But man, life situations, you know, I tell people all the time, like, you know, people like to judge people on their age and stuff like that. I'm like, look, man, it don't matter how young you are, how old you are. Your life experiences is your age, really. There could be a 19-year-old kid out there right now that's living more life experiences than most 40-year-olds have ever lived.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have some family members for sure who's holding it down for themselves, you know, whether it's because their mom or dad is not present, but I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and it's a fact of life, you know what I'm saying? Like, life experiences really mold you and really shape you. And another thing I tell people is to really get out of the comfort zone. Without getting out of your comfort zone, you don't know how strong you can really be, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't go through certain situations and get through them, you would never know that you were strong enough to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for people that are in abusive relationships, they don't want to leave the relationship because they don't feel like they're not good enough for the next person, or they feel like no one else is going to love them the way that this person loves them, or they feel like no one else is going to want them. And then they build up the power and the strength to leave that relationship and then find out how much life and how much love is outside of that relationship. How much better it could be with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in the instance of life experiences, you go through certain things, you get through different trials and tribulations, and then it makes you stronger. It gives you testimony for someone else.
Absolutely.
Mm. So, you know, that's literally what made me is the things that I went through in my life experiences. That's why when people are like, yo, you're a lot wiser than a average 26-year-old, or you're you know, you got more knowledge than an average 30-year-old or something like that. People really think that I'm like older than what I am. Like, oh yeah, you gotta be like in your 30s, you're like 32, 33. Like, nah, bro, I'm 26. Like, thank you for telling me I look old. But nah, so like, it's just that knowledge of wealth, knowledge of self, and knowledge of God. So, you know, I also tell people, knowledge ain't nothing without wisdom, and wisdom ain't nothing without knowledge, period. Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but you got to be wise with it. And you can be wise with no knowledge behind it.
I agree. I'm sitting here in front of my bag of Dr. Michelle Obama. She definitely is one of my role models. And I can relate to what you said, in that she sends the message that, you know, a lot of time people brag about their statistics. Like I went to Howard, I'm a Delta, right? And you brag about all those things. But what's more important is like your life and your character and what you do for other people. And so I really appreciate that. And I would say that, you know, Jeneen Cares was not only just inspired so that I can help youth, but it was inspired by my trials and tribulations as an administrator, as a Black administrator, right? Because most of the schools that I worked in were not predominantly Black.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was talking to one of my sorority sisters recently, and she was telling the story about the police department. She is basically a, you know, officer or a detective, and her husband is an officer. And she was sharing, and we were discussing, like, you know, Black Lives Matters, police brutality. And she was, you know, speaking her truths about, you know, I'm on the other side, Jeneen, and just sharing kind of that story. But it's interesting how important it is for us to understand and respect perspectives, but also to listen to people's stories. And so that is why I did Jeneen Cares, because my testimonies from my administrators, I've served as a principal, but then there were sometimes, even as a principal, I felt powerless. And so I've always been from the message that, you know, your position doesn't make you a great leader. It really is your influence. And so I've always been very restorative in nature, meaning I like to, like the sign behind me says, bring people together and have shared leadership in anything that I do. And I learned that from phenomenal principals who allowed me to be empowered to lead, number one, and to allow me to work with them. When we talk about restorative practices, it's about bringing everyone together. I can't be a principal and think that what I say goes, and that just because I say do this, people are going to do it. I have to make sure that I engage them so they know why I'm doing what I do. I have to make sure that I explain the changes that I make, right? And then I have to be clear about the expectations. And that's what I did as a restorative leader. And still, I met resistance at times, depending on, you know, sometimes years of experience, you know, perceptions. And so I am very proud of my school district and the fact that they really engage in courageous conversations through the lens of cultural proficiency. They are very strategic about, you know, looking at data and understanding that, yes, we need to close the achievement gap. That means we have our minority populations that are not achieving at the level that we want them to achieve. This is not a FCPS story. This is a story across the country. And so the reason why I'm a passionate, restorative, bring everyone together type of leader is because I believe in the motto, one community together strong. We can't do it by ourselves. I firmly, wholeheartedly believe in the Black Lives Matter movement, but I understand also that we have to, you know, bring our allies. And I'm so proud of the country. When you turn on the news right now, you see all these advertisements about, you know, Black Lives Matters from people like that, you know, used to in our community be called like racist, you know, organizations and stuff. I'm not gonna name any names because we are on live, you know, but my point is that I feel like the country, the world is finally getting it. And I saw even in my school district that, you know, there was a broad and was a very bold statement that came out about all lives and how it was important to focus on Black lives in our county. And our county probably has a reputation for not being so fair, right? And so I was very, very, very proud of our Board of Education for making that statement. So the next question is about restorative practice. It is a reflective experience. And I want you to reflect, Q. And I know from talking to you on the phone for hours sometimes, you are very reflective, right? So talk to me about the things that's been on your mind since like March 13th. You've been in quarantine, you have restrictions, you can't go certain places. I don't know if you like me or not, like an extrovert, and I love to like just go, right? So sitting
I'm a
still,
butterfly, man. Social butterfly.
me too. And it's so sitting still and being on pause. Like I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I was like, I need to get out. I'm an extrovert, and they were like, well, I can't help you. I'm sorry. So because people are scared of quarantine, all that's the COVID. So talk to me about what's been on your mind. What are some of the things? Give me like 3 or 4 things that's been on your mind since March 13th.
So bettering myself is one thing that's been on my mind. That's always on my mind constantly, just bettering myself. And with being stuck in quarantine, it felt like what it was stuck in quarantine, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, man, I can't go out making connections.
Right.
So I'm a talkative person. I love to talk. I love to talk to people. I love to make connections, you know what I'm saying? So like literally like not being able to do these things, I'm just like, yo, like I can't go nowhere. I can't do nothing. I can't go see people that I usually would see, you know what I'm saying? Like I got a really good friend out here named Montreal, who also owns a business called Money Junkies, Black owned business.
All right, shout out to Money Junkies. Follow him on Instagram, or what is it? Where is he at? Where can they find him?
He's on IG, Money Junkies Apparel. His, I actually have his clothes on now. I'm not about to stand up, but like literally he makes masks and everything like that. He's sweatpants, shorts. I'm a sweatpants short type person.
Yeah, me too. And a casual day, yeah. So send me his information. I'll try to either interview him or like put him out on one of my social media pages. So you've been talking about like self-improvement. What else?
Yeah. So self-improvement, making also keeping your body right. Like, I found that I was stress eating a lot because it was like built up anxiety of being in the house. It was like, yo, like I need to get out and do something. Like, but I also don't want to go and catch this virus. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, oh, I'm like, just eat something. Let me just eat something. And I'll go back and forth to the refrigerator like 100 times in one day. And I'm like, I'm gaining weight now. Why am I gaining weight? Because I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, eating, and that's it. And then go to sleep, and then do the same thing, and then go to sleep and do the same thing. I'm like, all right, that cycle needs to be broken. So broke that cycle. You know what I'm saying? Like start doing like little things, like do some sit-ups, do some crunches, stuff like that. Even still while you watching TV. And then I realized that my brain wasn't growing any. So I'm like, all right, so my brain needs to grow. How am I going to do that? Listen to people speaking of stuff that you want to listen to, like that you want to do. Like, even if it's just motivational stuff, like to get your mind in the right place. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things that's happening right now is people's minds aren't in the right place, and people's minds are being driven to certain things that they wouldn't even normally think about because they're in this quarantine. So like, having your mind in the right place, 1, 2, working out at home, self-knowledge, self-wealth, self-teaching, things like that. And loving my dogs, man. I've been loving my babies, all throughout this quarantine, man. Like,
you do love those dogs, and you talk to them like they're children. I
really do. Like, I love them so much. They are my babies, man. They truly are my babies. Love them.
Oh, okay. Well, out of all the things that you mentioned, can you tell me, like, what's the hardest thing for you right now? Like, all that's going on in the news and the media and with your experience, what's the hardest thing for you?
The hardest, to be honest, one of the hardest things for me period, in life. And and it's also one of the things I would never change about myself is being Black. It literally is the hardest thing to be in America.
You told me about it.
Young,
You told me earlier.
yeah, literally a young Black male.
Yeah.
Is the hardest thing to be in America. And then add successful to that makes it even harder.
Wow.
So,
and that's
literally,
those two should not even go together. Like, I don't understand. Like, so go ahead, break it down for me. I know you will.
I was in Walmart earlier. Legit, was in Walmart earlier. Get my stuff. Was at the self-checkout kiosk, and I literally done paid, like, scanned everything, paid for my stuff, had my receipt in my hand to turn around to some sad to say, another Black woman pointing at me, and then having loss prevention and security walk over to me. Oh, you're suspected of stealing anything. Can you empty your pockets?
Were you like wearing a mask or something? Like what?
I mean, of course I'm wearing a mask. This is quarantine.
Okay, all right.
This is like a rule now.
Describe the experience. Like, I don't understand. Like, if I saw you, I would not have done that. So, like, what do you think it was about you in that moment that gave her that right or authority to, like, do that to you? Like, do you have any, or does that happen to you a lot? Like, I mean, I'm,
honestly, you want to know what it is?
Going off, like, in the most professional way, there would have been an exchange.
And best believe that they got some very interesting words from me. Best believe that. But at the same time, like, it's expected because I'm blessed.
Yeah.
And the devil likes to try people and like to tempt them and like to lure them in. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm blessed and it's expected. So, as long as you stay in your word, people draw back to things and, may say some things and stuff like that. Make sure you repent for that, because Lord knows I needed to repent after I had those words for them.
It could not have been too bad. Now, you were on the prayer call this morning, correct? Like, I'm sure it didn't.
I was. It didn't go that bad this morning. I was, but I still had some interesting words for them.
Shout out to St. Mark's, Orlando. That is the church home that I have decided to join by Watch Care. And so I invited Marquise on today. And so you were ready. You had the word in you. And still, when the devil attacked, you was like, well, Lord.
I was like, But anyway, needless to say, they asked me to, like, empty my pockets and stuff like that. I told them, at first, I was like, I'm not about to empty nothing for you.
Right.
Like, for what? I was like, bro, this is Walmart. This ain't Balenciaga. Look at me. What do I need to steal in here? Are you serious? Like, come on. Like, excuse me?
Yeah, right. Like, then you, like, come on. Like, really, try somebody else, not me. I'm not the one. Like, I hate when
exactly. Like, come on, bro. Like, I ain't one of these people that look raggedy and dusty in here and busted. Like the lady that was next to me, like, bro.
No, that's not nice. That's not nice. I'll be big sister.
God bless her.
But okay.
God bless her, but, like, yeah. But anyway, so, like, after I told him no a couple times, I was like, you know what? All right, cool. You ready for this? Boom. Receipt to my purchase, my keys, my wallet, and my phone. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Hold up. Let me pick up my phone to record y'all right now, because this is definitely racial profiling.
That's the message we send in here. Like, be ready. Be ready with whatever you got to be ready with, and with your camera. You know what I'm saying? And that's so sad. That's so sad.
And you know what? I slacked it on not doing that at first, which I should have done. But at the same time, like, I'm not expecting nothing like this to happen. Like, come on now. Like, anyway, but needless to say, as soon as I pulled out my phone, they scattered like roaches. They was like, oh, I'm not going viral. Like,
well, you're viral now, boo, because I'm on Facebook Live. So shout out to those people at Walmart that tried my boy Q. That's messed up. Anyway, thank you for sharing that. The hardest thing, which is also should be the most blessed thing, is that you're a Black male, right? And you continue to watch your brothers be murdered, and it's on camera and it's televised, and it's like, for me, when I had my son Timothy, oh my gosh, that was like a happy but the scariest moment. When I found out I was having a boy, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to pray harder. He's only 6 years old, and recently he said to me, I'm gonna have a hard life because police officers like killing Black males. And
Yeah.
how do I respond to that besides saying,
To be honest, there is no response. There is no response but to pray. Literally, the response to that is prayer. Because literally, there's nothing else that you can say on that. Like, yes, you are right. You are right. Every time you leave the house, you are a target. And not just a little target, a big target. Because they feel threatened by you. Because they know that they're not superior than you. Like literally, that's literally the only thing that is to say is you just gotta pray hard and long and constant.
And I think about all of my nephews. I think about I had this one brother. He's in North Carolina, and he's works for a really nice company, and I had him on Jeneen Cares in one of those community chats, and the topic was police brutality and stuff like that, and he said, Jeneen, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I might not resist, so you might see me on TV one day. And I was like, come on, man, don't say that. But that's where, and he's 6-figure brother, suits and ties when he goes to work, but he's tired. And he just pretty much expressed that if somebody comes for me the wrong way, I'm going to resist. And that's a hard message for me as a Black woman, who really is I believe that our Black men are kings, and I try to support in every relationship that I have with a Black male, whether it's marriage or whatever it is. I feel like I'm always championing and trying to be that loyal woman, supporting and allowing men to be the leaders and supporting them. And so I celebrate them often, but it's scary to see how their mood is changing to this hardcore, not that some of them were already hardcore, but the professional, the ones who are paid to be professional are even done. And so it's very difficult for me as a mom of a Black boy, as the sister of a Black brother who is straight, Jeneen, if anybody do anything, I'm there, and I know his there is not with pen and paper, right? I know how his there is showing up. So
yeah,
it's
he's showing up with Mac 10s.
Yeah, it's different for me, and it's scary. I think with my cousins that, I'm from Philadelphia. That's who I am. I don't let the suits and the heels fool you. The same way I can go with lawyers.
She from Philly, y'all.
Yeah, I can straight go with my Timberlands and my sneakers on. That's.
He said the Timbs. Oh snap!
I went to the corner.
She said she coming out with the Timbs.
That's who I am. I'm from Philly, so my kids know at home how I am. I'm not how I am, and most people don't show up the same code switcher, right? We're not the same people. I have invited a lot of my former colleagues into my life through Facebook, and they are so entertained. They were like, Jeneen, you are crazy. I never saw.
Speaking of colleagues and stuff like that, and people talking and stuff, you got to give a shout out to Claudia Hernandez. She said your work is amazing.
Claudia Hernandez, yeah, she's amazing. Well, it's kind of, she works in the EL community, and she is like my sister. If I was to nominate somebody for honorary Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, it would be Claudia Hernandez. She works tirelessly for Frederick County Public Schools, bringing people together, finding resources, going above and beyond. So I have her my personal phone number. When I see those equity warriors like Carrie Ann Henson, Kayla Blanca from Montgomery County. I stay in contact with those type of people. Sabrina Nail is our ombudswoman. I think that, you know, she and I work really hard for a lot of things. I was fortunate for the county to connect us and allow us to do some circles with the staff. And so it's a wonderful thing to see people who get it that are not African Americans. Brad Young, our president of the Board of Education. I got to see him, you know, he said at the last minute before my daughter's graduation from Tuscarora High School, somebody sent him a message and said, Mr. Young, could you come give out the degrees? And he showed up. He showed up to Tuscarora High School's kind of like parent-led graduation and gave out their diplomas. Can you imagine? That's a bold move. He is supporting, he's in the community giving out food with this other brother, Ajay Hill, who runs I Believe in Me Corporation. It's just amazing to see the caring community. We had youth in Frederick County come together and they planned, facilitated, executed, you know, a powerful rally in Frederick. And so I love Frederick because it is definitely a place not without like imperfections, but it's a place that's reflective. And it's a place where people understand that, yeah, we got some work to do, but we're going to do it together. They put me in a position where I am able to train people across the county in how to be like this, bringing everyone together, how to be more restorative. So restorative practices aims at building community, but more importantly, what it does is it allows people, when conflict occurs, to resolve it in a way that doesn't like set people off. It doesn't escalate. And so when I watched that last murder outside of Wendy's, and I watched the second interview that had the person talking to the cop saying he can't breathe. He can't breathe. And the cop was, and then I watched the other interview that had like the interview with him when he was still alive, and the officer asking him questions like, and I'm thinking to myself as an educator, he missed so many opportunities to de-escalate the situation. Like, why didn't he say, can I call you a cab, right? Can you call your girlfriend to come get you? Like, why keep going and pressing, right? And pressing and agitating. That's the same issue that we have with some educators in all across the country that don't understand that you have the power beyond a principal, beyond an assistant principal, to de-escalate situations before it even gets to us. You have the power to lead, right? You have the power to lead. That was my motto: learn, empower, achieve, and dream. Okay. So leadership, empathy, achievement, and determination was my core values at my last school.
Yeah.
Now, it's like you said, learn all you can do, self-improvement, empower others. Right now, I'm empowering you to tell your story, and you just empowered your other person that has a business, and you're gonna have him come on, right? And then act.
Yeah, Montrell Rucker is my guy.
Yes,
period.
Act. You know, I am not in the principal seat, but I'm not gonna stop serving my community. I'm not gonna stop serving students. And so I'm acting with Jeneen Cares. I'm showing people who I really am. I'm bringing people that I love to come on to my show and tell their stories. And then we're being restorative. So I'm modeling what I expect from anybody surrounded by an educational field. I need you to understand that we must bring people together. We must be restorative in our nature if we are going to make a change in this country, period. So next question. You talked about, you know, wealth, your grandmom, your history, your legacy, yourself. You talked about the importance of having God. You talked about self-improvement during the pause. You talked about health and how important it is for us to be careful with our wellness. You talked about how you have to listen to others and learn. Recently, my line sister, Aneska, shout out to Aneska, love you, boo. She recently gave me this book that her husband gave her. It's called Fearless Leadership. So that's one of the things that I'm reading. Fearless Leadership. I'm always learning about leadership. I want to shout out, commercial break, Cherie and Timothy. I miss you. I love you so, so much. And finally, my mom, This is a family picture. Cherie made this calendar for me. So shout out to Cherie. Love you, boo. And that's my family. That's my team. That's my team Stewart right now. Okay. I used to be Team Beck, but I'm going through something right now. So Stewart, I'm gonna be Dr. Stewart in about a year, y'all. So call me. This is Jeneen Cares, where we're caring, achieving, restoring, empowering, and supporting our youth for the future. I normally have on like a business attire when I'm interviewing, but today I felt like being at home. I'm at home at C.A.R.E.S, one of the best places that I've been in Orlando since I've been here. It's my favorite. I love the food. I invite you to come out to C.A.R.E.S and grab yourself a meal, but grab yourself a place called home where you can also, not just eat a good meal, but commune with other people. I'm going to, after I end this, share my video with the owner, Joshua Johnson. I think he is an amazing man, a business-minded individual, and I look forward to collaborating with him more in the future. So, Q, the next question. Please tell me, how do you remain so positive? I already know, but tell the world, like, how you remain with all, like, the hardest thing is being a black male. Well, you a black male every day, all day. So
yeah, wake up black, go to sleep black.
Right, I'm still black. Hey, let me check. Okay, yep, still black. Okay, so how do you remain positive?
Waking up is a blessing.
It is. God be good. God be the glory every day, all day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people don't wake up. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, it's not a bad thing if you don't wake up, because that just means you graduated. You got your wings.
The body is to be present with the Lord. Yep, absolutely.
Exactly. That just means you graduated.
Pass away though. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all gonna have to all come get me. Like, when that day comes, woo.
Yeah, like, it's just, you gotta remain blessed. You gotta remember that you are blessed no matter what goes on in your life. It's a blessing. Everything is beautiful. You look up in the sky, you see the birds, you see clouds, you see trees, palm trees, wherever you at. It's a blessing to see, because there's some people that can't see. It's a blessing to hear, because there's some deaf people out there. It's everything. Everything is a blessing, literally. And that's just how I live my life, man. Like, it's literally everything that I see. My dogs, this phone, the mind that created this phone, the iPad, this platform, like, everything is a blessing. Look, years back, didn't have things. iPhone 11 Pro wasn't invented back then. They may have thought about it, possibly, but shoot, back when I was a kid, ain't no iPhone. You had Motorola, you had Singular,
Motorola,
Nextel,
flip phones, right?
Flip phones, the chirp phones, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with chirp phone. I still like chirp phone. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything is a blessing. You just got to see the blessing out of everything. Like, I almost got stopped by a cop last night. Didn't happen. It was a blessing. Like,
man, you got stopped by a cop last night. You got stopped in Walmart today. Like, is every day something a different story?
Man, my life is a movie. All you got to do is add the music, pretty much. Literally, like, I look back at things that I done been through in my life. I'm like, yo, like, I literally started just writing and literally writing a book. And I'm like, I'm through like the first 5 years, the first 5 of my earliest memories. And I'm like, yo, this is a movie. This is entertainment right here. It's like, yo, like, I'm just gonna continue writing, like, literally, and probably like next year sometime, or maybe a year after that, I'm gonna have a book out, and it's gonna be the best-selling book ever. Because literally, my life is entertainment. My life ain't no competition. We all gonna eat. We all gonna eat. You know what I'm saying?
Both like, bestsellers in the year 2000 and what? Claim it. I don't know. 30, 23?
2021. 2021, I'm gonna be on the bestsellers list.
Me too. I need to finish doctor though. I'm 1 year away from becoming Dr. Stewart. I just gotta,
Hey, look, the world is yours. Literally, you can do whatever you want to do. The only thing that's stopping you is you.
Is you.
Period.
That's true.
Period.
All right, last question. And I don't know if did you answer the first question? You did. All right, last question. The last question relates to like the youth, because we hear about the youth. Jeneen is caring. CARES, Jeneen Cares, caring, achieving, restoring, empowering, supporting our youth for the future. Public service announcements, because it's my show, so I can do that. I'm having a girls' conference on my birthday. Stay tuned, ladies, or anyone who can get me at least 64 young ladies. I can probably do it within my school district, but I want to make sure I spread it out across the country because I have friends on my Facebook across the country. So send me a message right now if you know at least one young lady ranging from grade 7 through 12 who needs to be among other powerful women and men, legacy leaders. We're going to have a conference on my birthday. I'm doing community service. I'm a Delta. That's what we do. We do service. I'm a Howard University graduate. Truth in service is our motto. And so on August the 6th, it's in the evening from 6 to 9. First of all, I need some more speakers. If you feel like you can reach the kids today, then email me, Jeneen Cares, Jeneen Cares @gmail, and I'll, talk to you about whether I think you would be a great fit the program on my birthday, August the 6th. Shout out to all the Leos, Leo, who run the world's Leos. Anyway, that was a bad joke, and you didn't laugh. You like what? I mean, I laugh at
because it was a bad joke.
Whatever. Anyway, August the 6th from 6 to 9. I have, a lot of my friends helping me plan it. We have keynote speakers. I'm catering towards people who are kind of like important right now. Like I want lawyers there. I want police officers that are in charge to kind of be there and kind of talk. I want doctors with the COVID going on. And so I'm being very strategic about who I invite. I want administrators because I believe that the world will change starting with the youth and starting in the schools. I want board members. And so if you're interested in coming to our conference, obviously if I'm sponsoring something, I'm gonna need sponsors. And so if you know somebody who wants to donate money, I'm in the midst of writing my nonprofit articles of incorporation. So the money's going to go to Jeneen Cares so that I can continue to feed into helping school districts to close the achievement gap. So it's my nonprofit that's going to support the youth. So anything you donate to Jeneen Cares is going back to the youth, nonprofit. I will also have some other initiatives, but right now I'm just trying to help. So it's all going back to the youth. August 6th, send me some students, send me an email if you want to speak. So that's really what I'm doing. And so the question I have for you to close us out, Q, what advice? You've already said so many important things that I feel would be a blessing to some people. You've talked about wellness, you've talked about self-improvement, you've talked about, just being good people and being reflective. What additional advice do you want to give to parents? You're not a parent right now. So, but like parents, and what advice do you want to give to students? Think about the high schoolers. Think about, you're not too far from high school yourself, right? So I'm joking.
What? Yes, I am young. I am young and I am filled with life.
He's 26, y'all. So
yes.
Talk to me about what message would you give to parents raising students right now? It's got to be hard. All their students are at home, and, those that are Black or African American are probably a little concerned about going out anyway. And then there's the COVID. So what message? And then those parents who might be watching, and I have a line sister who's right now, Danielle Brown. Shout out to Danielle Brown, whose son at Duquesne University apparently jumped out of a window and died. The last person that saw him was an officer. And so that's all I can say, right?
What I'm going to say right now is the cure to everything except for any disease. And I feel like this is the cure for a lot of different things. A cure for racism, a cure for, kids growing up the way that they should grow up, for respect, for loyalty, for anything. This is thing number one. This is the ultimate rule of thumb, rule of life, and it's in the Bible. Whoop your kids' ass.
You can't say that. You can't say that, and they can't do that because then they get a social The social services be at that door queue. That's a good message, but try again. Give me one more. So I do not know that, guys. I am an educator. I am a mandated reporter. So take two. What's the message that you want to give to people, to parents and to students?
Belt to butt. This is literally my stance on this. It's like people
dig deep.
People really got it. Like this is word of life. This is facts. Like literally.
I'm a restorative person. Give me something else. Talk
okay, for all the undistorted people, you gotta. The Bible says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child."
It's in the Bible, but it ain't in the school, so we can't beat kids in school. What else?
Oh, this is for the parents. Okay. This is for the parents. Because look, all right. So look, this is the way I look at it. Right, everybody my age and older, 25 and older, has had a big mama, a grandma, a mama, a mama. Anybody in that bracket.
Call ours Nana and Nana.
Nana, you know what I'm saying? Anybody in that bracket. And they wasn't playing no games. They literally wasn't playing no games. You literally no respect from those people.
Absolutely.
It may not have been your parents, but it been your grandparents that'll teach you something. Cause look, they not playing. And they the nicest, the sweetest people ever. But you step out of line, you for sure gonna go either pick your switch or go get the slipper or something like that. But that taught you later on down the line to respect people, to respect life, to really respect your fellow neighbor, your brother, your sister, whoever is next to you. Because literally what they did was they struck the fear of God in you, period. Like,
yes,
you didn't want something to happen to you because of your actions. So they made you accountable for your actions.
Yeah, that's true.
So literally what that teaches you is to be accountable for your actions.
Well, let me show you.
So that's why I say you got to beat your kids, because literally you making them soft nowadays. They can't even handle you saying go to your room. Like, come on now. Like that is everything is a lot more sensitive now. But
my daughter is laughing right now because she thinks I'm too soft on my son, and that's why he right now is with his daddy, because he needed a little daddy time because daddy don't play, right? So what I will say, that I am a licensed trainer for the International Institute of Restorative Practices. I think
hold up, I forgot to touch on the children and the teens and stuff like that. So I would say to them is, because I know once you get to talking, that's gonna be it.
Whatever.
So literally, what I would say to them is, learn from others' mistakes. Like if you see somebody messing up or see somebody get locked up for something or get disciplined in any type of way for something, you can learn from that mistake so you don't have to then make that same mistake. Or at least learn from your own mistakes and not do that same exact thing over again.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like, period. Literally, learning from the mistake is key. Literally, learning from the mistake is key. And communication, bro. Like, if you got something that's going on in your life, it's better to get it off your chest and talk to somebody than he'll hold it in and then let it explode on somebody that don't deserve it.
That's true. So what I take from that, can I talk now? Are you finished? Because I want to make sure I'm not interrupting.
I ain't never finished, but I guess you can speak now.
So what I will say that, first of all, mental health is serious, right? We need to make sure that we understand the importance of, if you're going through some things in the school environment, you have a counselor. In life, you have a therapist. I will say that because of all that I'm going through, I'm going to see a therapist. I've already had one appointment, and I'm going to continue working with a therapist so that I can understand, really honestly, some of my own choices and the choices of others. Like, I can't believe this happened to me. So that kind of a thing. So
I feel like the school systems need to be better at picking their counselors.
Whoa, okay. Well,
Yeah, I know when I was in high school,
so-
bro, I know when I was in high school, we had a couple good counselors, but the majority of them was not that good.
Mhm.
They wasn't able to talk to you about anything or let you speak about anything. They were too focused on getting done what they had to get done than to actually care about the kids, the children in the school.
Well, I'm thinking of my favorite counselor for BCMS. Shout out to Beck Pearson. She was my rock. She like, listen, literally, I made a rap, and she's not African American. She's a white female. She came back with a rap to a Philadelphia song, and she came harder than me. I was like, what? That's restorative practices. I was like, she got me. Her lyrics and her bars, like as a kid said, the bars was better than mine. So shout out to her. So there are a lot of quality people, but you are right. When I was talking to the woman who was an officer and her husband is an officer, she's a detective and her husband's an officer, she said exactly that the hiring process needs to change, right? We need to make sure that, one, we have people of color around the table when we're looking for people of color, right?
Yeah, because it's no good if it's a bunch of people not of color
okay, I gotta filter
picking the people of color, because then that's just they gonna pick Uncle Toms. They not gonna pick the real people of color.
Q, didn't I censor you before this interview? Certain words that we're not going to say that are going to be offensive to people that might be my viewers. Okay, so
Uncle Tom is offensive.
You gonna be on timeout after this interview. So
my bad.
We're about to end this video because my guest tonight is going off script. Like he's not scripted at all, but he's not following my directions, right?
It's been past 30 minutes anyway. I need to eat. I'm hungry.
This is Jeneen.
My babies over there need some love.
C.A.R.E.S, caring, achieving, restoring, empowering, and supporting our youth for the future. Q, shout out like any other websites that you want to recognize, any other people.
So definitely Montreal Rucker. That's my dog. That's my bro. His clothing line is called Money Junkies. You can find him on Instagram at Money Junkie Apparel. And then also Travis Lewis, if you're in California, Los Angeles area, he is also Travis Lewis is an entrepreneur. He actually runs his own detailing service. So if you need your detail, your car done, your car, your boat, your motorcycle, whatever it needs to be done, he's the man to call. He's the man to get it done.
So I'm going to shout out some people because I can shout out people too. I'm going to shout out nonprofits. That's Cheyenne McGregor. She's here in Orlando. She's doing my nonprofit. She is a powerful sister, right? And then she has a best friend. Her best friend is Ebony, Dr. Ebony. And she is a realtor. Doctor. She's a realtor. She's got her doctorate. And she runs a beauty salon with her sister. So right now my hair is natural, but usually I'll be getting a little Glamour Girl wigs from her shop. Man, I'm telling you.
My hair natural too.
Check her out, Sassy Sisters Boutique. And if you want to buy a house, if you want to buy a wig, ladies, it's on point. Check out Dr. Ebony, the realtor and the beauty salon magic queen. So yeah, that's just two people I wanted to shout out. And obviously I want to shout out some people who have been holding me down. My line sister, Ayana Jenkins, Tony Esquire, Aneska, thank you. I love you for life. Like y'all are holding me down right now. If it wasn't for y'all, I probably would be doing some crazy stuff right now. But thank God, and to God be the glory. I'm good. Shout out to my entire Frederick County alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Shout out to my line sisters on the Venturous Women of Voracious 64. It's because of you that I always speak truth, always, no matter where I am. We were voracious in the spring of '96 at Howard University, Alpha Chapter, on the lawn, on the yard. March 23rd, we pledged.
Y'all wasn't doing nothing on the yard, for real.
Forever and ever, I love you always, Voracious 64. And my mom, thank you so much for being that mom, the one that he just described. You know, she ain't never beat us none. Well, maybe she did. But anyway, she showed me.
Nah, you respectful right now because she tore you up. She tore you up a couple different times.
She used to get it to my brother. And so when she got with him, I used to cry because I was like, oh my God, you ain't even got to touch me, right? So Mom Dukes, everybody.
Learning from his mistakes.
Yep, Mom Dukes, she's 75. I just celebrated her birthday. Everybody saw that because I went live. It was so important to me. I celebrated her at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and then 6 p.m. So I have 3 videos that I'll have for life of her and us celebrating her birthday.
I did that video, by the way.
You what?
I did that video, by the way.
Oh yes, Mom. This is the one that did the video for your 75th birthday. So say say happy birthday, then Q, to my mom. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Mama.
All right, thank you. All right, we're signing off. I will say that July 4th is a busy, busy day for Jeneen Cares. I will be live with the Homeless Coalition. Shout out to Nelly. Thank you, Nelly, for your leadership in Orlando. She has organized a food drive. Matter of fact, I'm going to share her post one more time. I think I shared it earlier, so check my post on my page. She still needs some food donations, y'all. We're giving away food to the homeless here in Orlando. So that's where I'll be. Simultaneously, I'm going to be broadcasting live for the Soul Street. Q, I'm still waiting on that flyer, man. Soul Street is happening
Got you by the end of the day.
at the Sky Stage. The Sky Stage in Frederick, Maryland. We are a team of us gathered up and we're building community in Frederick. We're continuing this energy. Guys, keep the energy going.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. They are bringing musicians, artists, vendors, all Black owned. And so we expect that not just Blacks will support it, but everybody will support the Sky Stage on that day. Honestly, safety is an issue. There is going to be certain, you know, you have to have a mask on. You have to be socially distant. So you can't be congregating at this place. Safety precautions will remain in place. Thank you. He created my design. Thank you, Q. I appreciate that. If you guys have a business and you need a graphic, Q is the one for you, man. He's relatively inexpensive right now. So right now, if you want to start that business, contact him now because later his prices might go up. I don't know. So
they going up by the hour.
By the hour. He's so stupid. So again, Nelly in Orlando, if you're in the Orlando area, donate. Check out Nelly's Facebook page. I shared it earlier today. Donate to her as she continues to feed the homeless in our community. The other thing is Soul Street in Frederick. So simultaneously, I'm gonna be live at both events. You know, I donated money on behalf of Jeneen Cares to Nelly and the homeless. So we got some food coming out for them. And then I'm going to be broadcasting live with my group members for the Soul Market, sponsoring Soul Street. Thanks to the community members who allowed us to be able to make this happen. Remember safety. Remember, if you can't get there, it's okay, because I'm going to be going live, checking in with them virtually while I'm out on the streets doing community service with our homeless in Orlando. So love you all. Everybody stay blessed. Thank you, Marquise, for your time. It really is beyond the 30-minute window that we were supposed to do. I want to shout out to Joshua Johnson. You want to say hello? Thank you so much, he says no, for your time and your open.
His last name Johnson, that's my cousin.
He might be your cousin. Yeah, y'all will talk after this video ends. So thank you for Shauna's hosting this interview. We're live, so I can only imagine the comments that are coming through right now. And so we plan to do this again. I'm not sure how often he's gonna let me come in here and do this, but I pretty much took over his restaurant after it's closed to do Jeneen Cares. I had another offer to do it somewhere else in a different place, but I think they wanted money for that. And I'm like, well, right now, you know, I'll make money soon. So donate to Jeneen Cares, where we're caring, achieving, restoring, empowering, and supporting. August 6th, Girls Conference. Send me some girls if you're interested in being a speaker. Holler at me, Jeneen, Jeneen, Cares @gmail. I look forward to speaking with you soon. If you want to be on Jeneen Cares, come on the show. Just like Marquise, you see, it's not that hard. Just email me and say, you know what, I have a story. Like Dr. Michelle Obama says, tell your story, because your story might impact and bless someone else. So I'm doing this not for the fame. I'm doing it for the culture. I'm doing it for our culture. I'm doing it to empower others. I'm no longer a principal, but I will be principal to the students wherever I serve, wherever I live. And so thank you to Montgomery County Public Schools, who started my journey. I was a teacher who was hired by Dr. Daka. I didn't even have a certification in education, and she saw that I cared. So how coincidental that right now I'm starting a nonprofit saying Jeneen Cares. That's all for this evening. God bless and have a great evening.
Bye, Felicia's.